Hey everyone, it's Alana. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's build was a lot of fun. It was inspired by a photo on Google. I was literally just looking up small cottage and that's what I found. So it's not really a recreation, I guess. It's more of just like I got inspiration from the photo. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with this build. It's definitely a little different than the stuff I normally do. And I really love it. I think I kind of found something else that I really enjoy, so that's cool. Like a different build style that I really enjoy. I much prefer the exterior of this than I do the interior. I really just didn't know how to do the interior to make it look nice, I guess. But like I didn't want it to look nice, you know? Like I wanted it to look kind of messy and run down and cluttered. But I was thinking with this house that maybe two best friends lived in it, because there's 2 bedrooms. There's one upstairs and one downstairs. And there's also a cat. So that's cool. But yeah, I was just thinking that maybe they were 2 best friends and they wanted to move out together. And they wanted to, like, I don't know. Dude, I don't know. They wanted to live in a little rundown house, or maybe they didn't have enough money and they wanted to move out, but this is the only house they could find that was cheap, even though the house isn't really that cheap, but like it looks cheap. Like if this was real life, then the house would be pretty cheap, just because it's run down and stuff. But yeah, I just thought that this was a really fun build, and you'll see my sim popping up a lot throughout this. She's just standing like in the front. It's whatever. It's cool. So we're gonna talk about something fun today, since my audience retention is terrible. I know y'all hate me. I'm so boring. I think maybe talking about a build for 15 minutes straight is boring, so we're gonna talk about something else. One thing that I did want to talk about is the Naya Rivera situation. If you haven't heard of it, basically the actress of Santana on Glee has presumably drowned in a lake with her 4-year-old son on a boat, and she just apparently, according to Josie, which is her son, they were swimming and she went down and never came back up. And honestly, a lot of people are still holding out hope, but there's at this point they haven't found her, so if she was alive, she probably wouldn't have survived because of dehydration and whatnot, which is really sad and is really upsetting to think about. But I don't, yeah, but that's just one thing I kind of wanted to bring up in case any of y'all are Glee fans and y'all haven't heard of that. Naya Rivera is the actress playing Santana Lopez. So yeah, that's really sad, and that kind of had me down a lot yesterday. So my voiceover was a little bit, I don't know, like a little bit down, I guess. Then that's probably why. Anyways, okay, we're gonna go back to talking about the build. Okay, really quick, I'm really sorry if I'm kind of all over the place right now. I'm really tired. I have a really bad headache, but I want to get this video out for you guys, and it's already late, and I know that if I don't film the voiceover now, then I won't film the voiceover. So yeah, but yeah, back on the build, I used so much debug in this build. Like, I used so many debug items, and it was really fun. I've never really, messed with debug, so if you randomly see a few things pop up, like a giant dinosaur or an entire house, that's just me looking at stuff from debug while building this, just because I had never really gone through debug super intensely, I guess. The exterior of the house just looks super overgrown and kind of broken down and run down, but I also gave them quite a few things to do. I gave them a woodworking bench, I gave them an easel, a violin, a candle making station, and 2 bikes, just because, I was going with the, oh yeah, and a fishing pond, but I was just going with the concept that they were best friends, and they moved out to the countryside, and they live in this little rundown home. One of the rooms, it's the downstairs bedroom, it has a mouse hole in it, so if you get some mice, if you download this house, you'll probably get some mice running around, which is pretty funny. I just thought that was cute. And one thing that bothered me, but it ended up working out pretty well, was I downloaded, or not downloaded, but I placed a debug kind of, it was a room, and it just had a bunch of debug clutter in it. I placed that in the middle of the lot. You'll see that at some point. But I placed that in the middle of the lot, and when I got rid of it, 2 of the things were left there, and it was basically saying that, like, the object can't be found, and that the object can't be deleted. I couldn't move it to the household inventory. Like, the item just was stuck there. So, yeah, now there are a bunch of trees on that. You can't see that yet, though, so don't worry about it. It's not gonna mess with the build at all, or at least it shouldn't. If it does, that would really make me sad, because I didn't, and I don't know, I couldn't undo it because I had already done so much, but it ended up working in my favor. And this dining room, I ended up just not using. It gets deleted. I thought it was really cute, but the house just didn't have enough room for it. And, yeah, this house actually has ladders in it, which is cool, because, we got ladders in the game, so I had to add some ladders, dude, of course. Well, I added a ladder. This house has 1 bathroom and 2 bedrooms. It has room for a cat. It has room for 3 Sims, but I feel like it would just be weird to have 1 Sim downstairs, like, just kind of living their life, and then the one upstairs, like, in this, like, married to somebody. I don't know, I just felt like that would be weird. So I just gave the one upstairs a double bed and the one downstairs a single bed, just because it fit better. And this is actually a small home, so you have the benefits of having a small home, which is cool. I was just testing to see if it was small enough for me to get those benefits, which it was. So this is a small home. It is on the lot in Windenburg. You can see it at the top corner, but it's the summer home. And yeah, it's real cute. It's real cute. And the lot actually costs quite a bit. I think it's like over $20,000, so it's not a starter home. But yeah, I used these wall decorations from Vampires, and they worked really well to make the house just have that more rundown look. And I said that I wasn't going to talk about the house, but there's really nothing else to talk about when you're doing a voiceover like this during quarantine. I don't have any stories or anything like that. So yeah, I'm just talking about the build, because what else am I going to do? There's no stories, literally none. But yeah, I tried to clutter up the place as much as I could, but honestly, The Sims 4 does not have very much, like, clutter, like, just clutter in general, and debug doesn't even really have that much clutter, which is really unfortunate. And like you can see here, I downloaded that, or this was a separate room, but I downloaded this for the house, but I ended up not using anything except for the bottles and the, except for the bottles. Well, now we're upstairs. Jeez, I was going fast. Well, I guess this is sped up, so, yes, I was going fast. But I downloaded this, like, shelf thing that a bunch of speed build YouTubers use. You might see it in this. I really don't know if it's, like, it might be too fat. I don't know. But, yeah, it's it was a fun build. It was just, dude, there's really not much to say about it, honestly. But yeah, I just wanted to give them skill building things, and they have a TV for fun. They also have a little, like, book thing that works as a bookshelf. Around this time was when I thought I was done with the house, but I was not. And we're about to get on to the very in-depth, exterior, just adding a ton of stuff to the exterior. It looked pretty bad before this point, in my opinion. I think it just looked too bare for, you know, what I was going for. But now it looks really cute. Yeah. Yeah, I love it. It's real cute. This boat is adorable. I didn't know we had that boat in debug. But yeah, we do have a boat in debug, and I'm probably going to be using it a lot more. I'm also probably going to be using that fishing pond in a lot more builds, because I love how it looks, and it just filled in the lot really well, and it also gave the Sims something to do, which was very cool. I thought that this build really fit into Windenburg because, yeah, I mean, it just has a lot of the same trees that Windenburg has. It's very naturey, it's very overgrown, which is pretty much what Windenburg looks like in general. It's very pretty, it's very cute, and I love it. I would love to play in this house, but it's also just not a house that you can really play in. You can play in this house. You can, but I don't know if you would want to, because the thing about debug items is that your Sims just walk straight through them because they don't recognize them as actual items. So, like, the gate in the front, they would just walk straight through it. They wouldn't, like, walk around it like, you know, you would want them to. Oh yeah, this is, like, the kind of junkyardy area, and I really liked it. I thought that it would be a good addition, and maybe the people who lived here, I was just thinking girls, but maybe the girls who lived here just, really didn't feel like getting rid of all this stuff, so, it's, I don't know. I mean, if I were them, I wouldn't feel like getting rid of all of that either, so it's really not that big of a deal. I mean, like, I understand how they're feeling here, and yeah, I just tried to make it as realistic as I could, and I tried to make it look as good as I could, which I don't know if I did that good of a job or not, but I tried my best, so yeah, I think it worked out pretty good. I really spent like 20 minutes adding finishing touches. Like, I'm just, you know, watching through the footage, and I'm realizing that what I was doing here was literally adding the quote-unquote finishing touches, when I don't think I can say that these are finishing touches. They're just a part of the build. Like, I thought that they were the finishing touches. They really weren't. I went in with a bunch of terrain paint, a bunch more trees, a bunch more landscaping, but I really do think it was worth it because I think it's so freaking cute. I genuinely think this build, especially the exterior, is just adorable. I actually got some inspiration to build a cottage from Miss Griffey on YouTube. I can link her in the description. But yeah, I just, like, she built a cottage type thing, but it was, like, based off of the Swiss Alps, and I watched it this morning, and I thought it was gorgeous, and I was like, oh my gosh, I need to build a cottage, basically. I just really wanted to build a cottage, it's, like, specifically, and I was kind of thinking, like, cottagecore, you know, like, make a proper, and she also built a cottagecore home, which I watched after the Swiss Alps themed cottage, and I was just like, oh my god, I have to build a cottage then. I mean, like, there's no option. I don't have an option. That's what I'm building today. And also, I really didn't want to build something that took me 3 hours again, because yesterday, I built something that took me 3 hours, but you know, what ended up happening was, obviously, this, even though much smaller, but much more detailed, did end up taking me 3 hours. So, maybe more, honestly. So, yeah, basically, my goal was not met, but I had a lot of fun with this one. Oh, shit, we're on to the screenshots now. But, yeah, screenshots.